We are looking at Pure Fiction for version 4.0. This one is titled Wordless Novel. We'll take a look at the grit effect and mechanics, the bosses, the buffs, talk about some teams, and do a little demo. So to start, let's talk about the grit effect. So we can see this stage has an Elation skill, or when entering Aha instant deals 15 instances of imaginary Elation damage to random enemy targets, and when enemies are defeated, you gain 1 punchline. So basically, everybody is an Elation team now in this Pure Fiction. So whether you have an Elation character or not, Aha is going to show up on your timeline and do some damage. And interesting, because this effect is very similar to, well, it's pretty much the same as what's available in Anomaly Arbitration in the King fight right now, if you haven't seen that. However, in this Pure Fiction, it's a little bit better because we'll see there are multiple ways for non-Elation characters to build punchline. As we can see here, one of them, the main one, being defeating enemies. And so when you enter Surging Grit, Aha immediately takes action with a fixed amount of 20 punchline, and your Elation skill damage is 50% of the original damage, and you don't lose your punchline. So that's almost identical to Guang's ultimate, so you get like a free Guang ultimate, which is pretty fun if you're also playing Guang, because then you're just getting Aha instants all over the place. And then during Surging Grit, of course, enemies take increased damage, and Aha's speed increases by 40. And then, so for the grit mechanics for this one, each time punchline is gained, which we determined is when enemies are defeated, allies will additionally accumulate 2 grit value. So normally in Pure Fiction you get grit anyway from defeating enemies, and now you just get more, basically, because as we determined, defeating enemies gives you 1 punchline, and 1 punchline gives you an additional 2 grit. So you're going to actually be building grit pretty quickly, because the buffs will have other tools to earn even more punchline. So what does this all mean? It sounds like a lot, but honestly, Elation does not affect your game plan really at all. You're still going to basically play however you would normally play. Your strategy is going to be built around the bosses and the buffs and your team build, and this is just going to be a cool and visually interesting way of delivering extra damage. I kind of it's kind of a criticism of mine with Elation, but that's a story for another time. We can maybe talk about that another time, but you know, it does give everybody an opportunity to also just see how Elation works without having to pull an Elation character, which is also kind of cool. But otherwise, you know, you're just getting extra damage doing what you would normally do. So let's look at the important stuff then, which is the bosses and the buffs. So the first boss that we have is Bronya, and Bronya is an old boss. Therefore, she's a very simple one. She basically she has a little action delay, which is always annoying, and she can dispel buffs on enemies, which is kind of pointless in Pure Fiction because all the small enemies are going to die quickly anyway. But that's that. There's nothing really to do, mechanically speaking, or playing around for that. And the second boss is the Swarm, which again, also another old boss that is very simple by today's standards. You're going to get hit by a lot of wind shear dots, so, you know, keep dispelling while you can. And the small bugs, when you kill them, they pop and do damage and debuff the other bugs, including the big bug, so that they take more damage. That's kind of it. I mean, with this fight, you're going to be killing bugs constantly anyway, so again, nothing really changing your strategy. And you don't even have to worry about the bugs replicating, because they're always going to replicate in Pure Fiction anyway. So again, these are like 2 of the simplest, oldest bosses in the game, so nothing too much to worry about on that front. So then if we take a look at the buffs, we've got the first one, Euphoria. During Surging Grit, enemy targets takes 30% more Elation damage, and additionally increase Aha's instant speed by 20. So obviously this is the Elation buff. You're probably not going to fully take advantage of this until you get Sparksy. There are some teams that you can play with just Guang, as we'll see in my demo. But in most cases, and even in the example of the I'm going to use, in most cases you'll probably be better off playing one of the other buffs with the other teams that are not Elation, and this one will really be more useful when Sparksy comes around. For the second one, Delirium, after an ally target uses their basic attack or skill, gain 1 punchline. During Surging Grit, the ally target damage dealt increases by 50%. And for each enemy target hit with a basic attack or skill, ally teams additionally gain 3 grit value. So this is the sort of general use. Everybody can use this one. Every character has to use a basic attack or skill on their turn, which means you're definitely going to gain a punchline. And all of your basic or skill attacks are going to accumulate 3 grit value per target. So if you're using your big AoE skill attackers like the Herda, you're going to gain grit super fast. Like one hit is going to be, 15 grit, right? So this is a cool buff because it does work for pretty much anybody. So this is the one if you're going to brute force with Castris or Finon or the Herda. You're going to pick this one. Probably the best options right now until Sparksy comes out, and even then they might still be the best options. So you can go with that. Since this is pure fiction, other AoE focused teams, like you could probably throw Argenti in here. I was trying to get Jingyu on to work. I'm not quite there yet, but I think I can. I think I can make it. So you have a lot of options with this second buff. And then finally, the third one, Tirade. When an ally target deals break damage with an attack, gain 1 punchline. During Surging Grit, break damage dealt to enemy targets increases by 30%. And when a target's weakness broken, additionally accumulates 5 grit value for allies. So this is obviously the break buff. And if you are breaking quickly, this is probably the fastest to get into your Surging Grit. You're going to gain so much Surging Grit. Like one Linksha attack that breaks the whole team is getting you 25 grit value, which is wild. And that's on top of doing the break damage, which gets you punchline, which then gives you more grit on top of that. You're going to be in grit a lot. The trade-off is most of the traditional break characters like Rappa, Firefly, and Boot Hill are usually not great in pure fiction unless you have like E2 Firefly or something. Even Rappa, surprisingly, is in the newer versions of pure fiction where we've got the big chunky bosses, is a little hard to use. Like she'll do it, but you're probably not going to hit 40k. And then Boot Hill's, he's just bad for pure fiction. But we do have with the Dahlia the emergence of Break Himiko and DPS Linksha being much better than they were before. That throws them in the mix too. You're probably still not going to hit 40k with them either, but you should be able to clear if you have the Dahlia. So there are quite a few options there for the break buff, but you're probably going to be better off playing another team with the second buff as your best option. So get your biggest, baddest characters that you have. If you've got Castris and Finon, if you've got the Herda, if you've got the Dot team, pull them out with the second buff, and that'll probably be your best bet. So for I don't want the second buff, I want the first buff for this one. For the teams I'm going to use, I'm going to do something fun and interesting that I don't recommend most people do for the first team. I'm going to try to play a Guang, Tribbie, Jade, triple DPS team. This is a tribute to all my rare Jade haver friends out there. If you want to do something with Jade and you're sitting on your Guang and you have nothing to do with her, here you go. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm taking the Elation buff. You could probably use the second buff as well and get about the same results, but hey, it's Elation shill. Let's try to roll with that. So I have E0S1 Yao Guang. I actually have E1, but I haven't used the Eidolon yet because I'm trying to test. I got a double on her, but you know, I've got E0 or E1 Tribbie, which is very good for pure fiction. That is where she's going to thrive. But you know, S0, so she's with Dance Dance Dance. And then I have E1 S1 Jade. Her E1 does not really factor too much on this at all, because the main thing you get from her E1 is if you know how Jade works, you pick a target ally, and when they attack, it builds a stack, and then when she hits 8 stacks, she follow-up attacks. So with her E1, you will always gain at least 3 stacks, even if you're attacking a single target, which is cool. But with both Yao Guang and Tribbie, they both blast attack with their basic anyway, so you're kind of getting nothing. So basically, even though I have E1 S1 Jade, the E1 is doing like nothing for me in this fight. Just want to point that out in terms of judging value. And then I've got E0 S1 Dan Heng, as many people do. And then for the second team, I've got Evernight. I just wanted to use her instead of just Casterus as kind of a fun, make it a little more fun, and also Evernight's banner is currently running. So I'm running Evernight, Cyrene, Remembrance Trailblazer. So Evernight and Cyrene are both E0 S1, and Hyacine is E1 S1, which you know, makes it a little bit of a higher investment, but Remembrance Trailblazer kind of makes up for that a little bit. And I'm going to be running them with the second buff, as you would with any other team, basically. That's not Breaker Elation. Okay, so let's jump into the demo. So, like I said, we are going to do this kind of interesting triple DPS team.
There's a good shot. Do as numbers. All's revealed in divining them.
And I'm going to use Dan Heng's buff on Jade, since she's the one that will benefit the most from it. Elation damage does not factor in attack, and Dan Heng's buff is attack. So the only character, and Tribbie uses HP as her scaling, so the only character that kind of benefits from an attack buff is Jade.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
And then I'm going to put Jade's buff on Tribbie, since she's going to be attacking the most frequently.
Don't let me down.
So every time she attacks, it's going to be 3 to 5 stacks for Jade, which you can see the 5 of 8 under her name, and then when you hit 8, she does a follow-up attack. And Yao Guang's just gonna do her thing. So if you haven't used Yao Guang yet, or you don't know how Elation works, her ultimate will automatically summon Aha for an extra turn and trigger everybody's Elation skill. Right now, only her Elation skill and the special Aha skill that you get from this particular Pure Fiction trigger. And as far as Elation in general, if you haven't learned it yet, you can see the orange Aha mask on the turn order. That's called the Aha instant, and so when that comes up, it triggers everybody's Elation skill, which is like going to be a special skill attack, and have some other effects. And so every Elation character will have an Elation skill that goes into that. And in this case, we have, like we said, the special one for Aha. And the number, that's what we're referring to when we say punchline. And the higher the punchline goes, the more damage you're going to do with your Elation skills. Okay, so we just got the Resurging Grit, which means that triggered another Aha instant, which is fixed at 20, which is exactly like how Yao Guang's ultimate works. And you can see why I picked Tribbie to be the target for Jade, because Tribbie is just always launching follow-up attacks or her ultimate to build stacks for Jade.
Don't thank me.
So we're getting pretty good Elation damage, even with just Yao Guang. Now this normally I don't recommend you do this anyway, but I recommend you do it even less on like normal fights that don't have the Elation bonus, because then you're only getting the Guang damage, and it's not really that much. She really is going to need another Elation character to be like truly good. You can get away with using her for some fights. She'll be better than nothing, but
People always say, observe the heavens with my divinations.
we're still not quite there yet. I think that's a big reason why her banner is going to be running into the next banner with Sparksy, so that you can still get them together. Yeah, so these new enemies, actually, you interrupt their attack by using your Aha instant, which I don't like because, sure, we all have an Aha instant in this particular Pure Fiction, but in the future, or any other time you fight them, if you don't have a Elation character, I don't think there's any way to interrupt their attack. It's probably not that big of a deal, but it's also just weird that it would be so tied to a mechanic like that. I might be misunderstanding. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. So yeah, we just blasted our way pretty handily through the first two waves. We haven't even... we're still at 0 cycle right now, which is pretty good. I think you're going to see our progress slow down a little bit here now that the enemies are stronger.
Stars favor us.
My purpose is to protect.
But we should be easily able to clear the 30,000, and we might contend for 40,000 with this janky team.
Now or never. Troublemaker, I'd like to be shot. Is it coming? Are you the West Wind? Let me go! Who's the little backstabber?
My strength isn't.
Oh, I should have hit that little guy. Alright. Make sure you don't forget to re-up Tribbie's buff. It's a bad feeling. Yeah, I didn't get a lot of punchline on that one. Still pretty good damage, though.
People always say,
Okay.
observe the heavens with my divination.
Then we'll get another one with Guang.
A bad omen. Don't thank me. Bad. Where there's a will, there's a way.
And don't forget to re-up Jade's buffs either. I kind of wish Jade had a counter like Tribbie and Guang, so you don't miss when her buff runs out, because I definitely do that if you're not paying attention.
Dragons soaring above the lands. This is permanent.
Who's the little backstabber?
You kind of have to just notice that it's there for you to push the button again, because normally you can't. With Jade's skill, you can't change it after you've locked it in,
My purpose is to protect.
which mechanically is annoying, but I guess story plot character-wise makes sense. You're not backing out of your deal with Jade.
Bad. Stop right there. Now or never. Just a graze. Best of luck.
Yeah, so you can see how much we've slowed down on the stronger enemies here. But we have cleared 30,000,
Don't think
so we're on track for our 3 stars. And we still have a whole cycle and a half left here, so...
people always say, observe the heavens with my divinations. Best of luck. An explosive start.
So you can kind of see what I'm saying. Elation is not a very, like, interactive... I mean, not a lot of
Bending the rules.
team mechanics aren't, but I don't know. It doesn't really change your game plan at all. You're still just gonna do whatever it is that your characters would normally do. You'd build them however you would like normally build them. And then you just occasionally get a big flashy extra damage thing. I guess what I'm hoping is like future characters are gonna have like more interesting Elation skills. So like we've got Yao Guang and we've got we know Sparksy's kit. That info is all out there. So Yao Guang does some damage, and I think she buffs Elation damage or something. It's like a buff. And I think Sparksy, I forget exactly what she does. She does bigger damage. And then I forget if she also gets a buff or some like extra skill points or something. I have to go back and read her stuff again. I'll do more in-depth coverage for her when her time gets closer. But I'd like to see future Elation characters kind of do something more interesting. Even just visually, like how, like take the Remembrance team. Caster summons a dragon. It's really like it's pretty cool, and you know, and maybe we'll get that with whoever the big Elation DPS ends up being. I don't think Sparksy is going to be a main DPS when all's said and done. Oh, okay, we ran out of time. All right, 37,920. It's not too bad. Almost 38,000. Very easily clearing the 30,000 mark. And you know, if you don't hit 40,000, it's no big deal at all. That's just for my own personal pride. But considering how weird that team is, that's a pretty cool result. Okay, so I think we're gonna see a much better result with Evernight here. Solo Evernight, I think, is extremely underrated, especially at E0, which is what I have her at. Her power at E0 is like crazy. And you know, I think that kind of gets lost because she's in a weird spot where her best team is with Casterus, because Casterus is the strongest character in the game, DPS-wise. And you can't, if you have Casterus, there's like no reason to play Evernight solo, because even if you want to just have a second team to like split up for endgame, they require the same supports. And by that I mean Hyacine. Hyacine can't be on two different teams. And Casterus or Evernight without Hyacine are significantly worse. Like, Hyacine is the most important thing for either one of them. And since you only have one Hyacine, you can't really play them on two separate teams at the same time. That means if you do have Casterus, you basically only play Evernight solo for fun, which is what I'm doing right now. And that, I think, gets lost on people. However, if you're looking at the Evernight banner right now and you don't have Casterus, and if for some reason you do have Hyacine, because she can be played without Hyacine, but I don't recommend playing her solo without Hyacine if you can avoid that. But if you have Hyacine for some reason, and you don't have Casterus, or even if you do have Casterus, then yes, Evernight is a pretty good pick. Just make sure you have Hyacine. We'll do Evernight first, and then we'll do Stell.
Don't blink. May you fulfill love's promise.
That's a very funny. Stell's little buffering hat shows in Cyrene's crystal.
Don't worry.
Alright, we're gonna do the Evernight ult to get the buff up.
Good night.
We'll do everybody else first here.
Trust We can do anything. Mavis, dispel the gloom, restore the skies.
And of course, never sleep on Hyacine's damage. She's probably quietly doing more damage than everybody, as I'm like she just outdamaged Evernight there.
Stop messing around. Have some fun.
It wasn't a very high Memoria attack for Evernight, but even so. That was pretty good. 1,000,000 damage with no Yao Guang. We got up to 76 Memoria. So I think with all the memo sprites, we're taking a lot of actions.
This is being insane. Rewrite destruction with me.
Even Cyrene getting a 1.5 million in there.
Prepared to awaken the ripples? This is eternity! Don't worry. Night falls. Good night. Till we meet again. Time for some sleep again. Again. Rise and shine.
There we go. Got to 2.7 million.
The rainbow break. Have some sunshine. Break's over. Don't blink.
I kind of hate when you're playing a team with Cyrene that she doesn't have to keep applying her buff, because then she's just kind of doing her
I'm still here.
somewhat mediocre
That won't work.
basic attack thing. Feels like dead weight, but
Trust me. We can do
the buff effect is worth it.
Stop messing around. Have some fun. Don't
Alright, this is going to be a big hit.
Good night.
Not the ultimate, I mean this.
Again.
Yeah, there you go. 2.6 million. And we are still only at 1 cycle right now. We still have 2 cycles left.
Mavis, dispel the gloom, restore the skies.
I kind of missed the original Pure Fiction where they didn't have the big boss. Or at least I don't think they did. Did they have one at the end? I don't remember.
I'll be there.
It was only the first couple Pure Fictions where it literally was just mow down a lot of small enemies.
That won't work, you know. I'm on it. Mimi.
Alright, well, I understand this is not the most exciting content right now, as we kind of just keep looping the Evernight rotation here. There you go, Cyrene, getting some
Again.
bombs in there.
Have some fun.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a big one. We're at 58 Memoria. There you go, 3.7. Did we win? Yeah, we got it. There you go. No casters, no problem. We got it with Evernight. Easy 40,000 on that one. And, you know, 37,920 is pretty good for, janky Yao Guang team. I'm calling it triple DPS. I guess most of the damage is probably coming from Jade and Yao Guang, but you got Tribbie in there too, so... pretty fun. I think that'll be more interesting once Sparksy comes out as well, and whatever other Elation characters we end up seeing. So that'll do it for this one. Hopefully that was helpful, or at least entertaining. You can like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, all that good stuff if you liked it. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.